Had you ever unwrapped a Hershey's chocolate bar, heard that satisfying snap, and just let it melt in your mouth? It's a simple pleasure, right? But what if I told you the story behind this iconic treat is a roller coaster of failure, resilience, and a revolutionary vision that changed an entire industry? It's not just a story about chocolate, it's a masterclass in entrepreneurship. So grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and let's dive into the incredible journey of how a humble farm boy built a chocolate empire. Our story begins not in a fancy city, but on a rural farm in Pennsylvania in the 1850s. This is where Milton Hershey was born. He wasn't born into wealth. His family life was modest, and his formal education was cut short after just the 4th grade. At 14, his mother arranged an apprenticeship for him at a local print shop. You might think this was his first step toward success, but it was actually his first taste of failure. Milton hated it. He was clumsy, disliked the work, and was eventually fired. But here is our first business lesson. Your first idea doesn't have to be your best idea. Sometimes finding out what you don't want to do is just as important as finding out what you do. Instead of giving up, Milton, with his mother's encouragement, pivoted. He found a new apprenticeship, this time with a confectioner in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and that's where something clicked. He discovered a passion for candy making. He spent 4 years learning the craft, mastering the art of creating sweet treats with his own hands. By the age of 19, filled with youthful ambition, Milton decided to strike out on his own. He moved to Philadelphia in 1876, right as the city was hosting the Centennial Exposition, a massive World's Fair. He borrowed money from his family and opened his first candy shop. He worked tirelessly, often sleeping in the back of his store, but after 6 grueling years, the business failed. He was broke, so what did he do? He tried again. He moved to Denver, where he learned a crucial secret from another candy maker: the magic of using fresh milk and caramels. This gave the candy a richer, creamier flavor. Armed with this new knowledge, he tried his luck in Chicago and then New York City, but both ventures collapsed. By this point, Milton Hershey was in his late 20s and had failed in business 3 separate times. Most people would have quit and looked for a stable job. And here's our second and perhaps most important business lesson. Perseverance in the face of failure is your greatest asset. Milton returned to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with nothing but the knowledge he had gained. He was seen as a failure by many, but he hadn't lost his belief in his product. He started the Lancaster Caramel Company, but this time he did things differently. He focused solely on his superior caramel made with fresh milk. The breakthrough came when an English importer tasted his caramels and was so blown away that he placed a massive order. That single order was the turning point. Suddenly, the Lancaster Caramel Company was a roaring success. Milton Hershey was finally a millionaire. He had made it. He could have retired and lived a life of luxury. But his story was far from over. While visiting the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Milton saw something that captivated him even more than candy: German chocolate-making machinery. At the time, chocolate was a bitter, expensive luxury item, mostly reserved for the European elite, but Milton saw potential. He saw a future where chocolate could be an affordable treat for everyone. This brings us to business lesson number 3. Always be curious and look for the next big thing, even when you're already successful. Instead of resting on his caramel laurels, Milton bought the entire chocolate-making exhibit on the spot. He had them shipped back to Lancaster and started experimenting. He became obsessed with creating a smooth, creamy milk chocolate that could be mass-produced. This was no easy task. The Swiss had perfected their milk chocolate, but their process was a jealously guarded secret. Hershey spent years trying to develop his own formula. He faced countless failed batches of chocolate that was grainy, lumpy, or just didn't taste right. But his farm boy roots gave him an advantage. He understood milk. He eventually perfected what became known as the Hershey process, a method that gave his milk chocolate its unique, slightly tangy flavor and allowed it to be produced on a massive scale. In 1900, at the peak of his caramel success, Milton made a decision that everyone thought was insane. He sold the Lancaster Caramel Company for the staggering sum of $1 million. That is over $30 million in today's money. Why? Because he wanted to go all in on chocolate. He poured his entire fortune into his new vision. This is our fourth business lesson. VBE, willing to take calculated risks and pivot completely to chase a bigger dream. But Milton didn't just want to build a factory. He wanted to build a community. He returned to the area where he was born, Derry Township, and bought thousands of acres of farmland. He wasn't just building the Hershey chocolate factory. He was building a town. He built comfortable homes for his employees, a public transportation system, parks, schools, and a community center. He believed that if you treat your employees well and create a happy environment, they will do their best work. He created Hershey, Pennsylvania, the sweetest place on earth. By 1907, the iconic, flat-bottomed Hershey's Kiss was born, wrapped by hand in foil. Its affordability and delicious taste made it an instant Hershey had successfully democratized. Chocolate sensation. He had taken a luxury product and made it a staple in American households. He proved our final business lesson. A great business isn't just about profit. It's about providing value and building something that lasts. Milton Hershey's legacy goes far beyond chocolate. He and his wife, Kitty, were unable to have children. So, in an incredible act of philanthropy, they established the Hershey Industrial School, now known as the Milton Hershey School, a home and school for orphan children. He eventually donated his entire personal fortune to the school's trust, ensuring its mission would continue long after he was gone. So, the next time you enjoy a piece of Hershey's chocolate, remember the story of the farm boy who failed 3 times before he was 30. Remember his relentless curiosity, his courage to risk everything for a new idea, and his belief in building not just a company, but a community. His story teaches us that success isn't a straight line. It's about getting back up, learning from your mistakes, and never losing sight of your vision, no matter how sweet it may be. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope this story gives you a little inspiration for your own journey. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe for more stories, and let me know in the comments what you found most inspiring about Milton Hershey's life. Until next time, stay curious and keep building. Good night from business at Bedtime, sweet dreams.